you know what, I am pissed off. You know what, I'm having a shit day and I'm angry. It is school holidays, which means lots of time for the kids, which means I can pretend to be a kid again, which I love. Is it cold?
Not really. Don't get my head in.
Ooh, not too bad, is it? It is the school holidays, which means that I've been spending a lot of time hanging out with the kids. And oftentimes like these, when I watch the kids play, I think about my little boy, Benji. So I wanted to dedicate this episode to Benji. So if you're not aware, I got two kids. Karis, she'll be 5 next month. And then little Benji, who doesn't live here on earth, but in heaven, he would be 3 next month. Now, I don't just say he lives in heaven to make myself feel better. I actually believe that. I know, crazy. My life has changed fairly dramatically since Benji passed away in 2014. And I've learned heaps, I've changed a fair bit. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. I'm gonna do my best to not make it a downer, emotional episode, but instead an inspirational. So Benji was born on the 30th of May 2014. We found out at 20 weeks that he had some brain dysformalities. They couldn't tell us what he would be like. They just said it could be a pretty wide spectrum. It could be anything from, he might be completely fine to he might be completely unable to do much by himself. He wouldn't be able to feed himself, wouldn't be able to speak. And so obviously it was a bit of a shock. There was never any talk of him not making it though, or not living. So when he was born, things were a lot worse than anyone thought. And so Benji only lived for 13 hours. Bex had a cesarean, so and they rushed Benji off straight away when they took him out, so she didn't get to see him straight away. I went with him while they stitched her up. This is a photo of her seeing him for the first time. So obviously there was the most dramatic, most horrible night of my life. After 13 hours, we had to decide to turn the machines off, to pull the plugs out, and to allow Benji to go. And so I actually had to hold him. I held him in my arms as they turned off the machines. And as you can imagine, just the most heartbreaking experience anyone could ever experience. To hold your son in your arms as they unplug the machines and just watching the color drain from him. A nice, beautiful pink little baby, slowly turning grey, and his heart stopping and his lung stopping. So here's a little video clip. We were just blown away by how we were looked after at the hospital. We had a professional photographer come in and take photos of him. We actually didn't think that we were going to see him again. After we said goodbye to him and they sent him off, we didn't think that we were going to see him again. They came back to us the next morning and said, hey, Benji's back, after doing all the tests on him and things. And we couldn't believe that we were going to be able to see him again, and so we actually got to spend quite a bit of time with him, with his little body anyway. And we had an amazing celebration service for his short life. We got this beautiful bench built at Raglan. So Raglan's where Bex's family's holiday home is. It's a really special place, and so we've got this bench made. And it's just beautiful. If you're ever in Raglan, New Zealand, make sure you go to Benji's seat, and you can check in there. We've created a page called Benji's seat. You can actually check in there. So we love going there and hanging out at his seat. They made us these beautiful little molds of Benji's hands and feet, which is pretty special. Karis did break off one of Benji's fingers, unfortunately, but we have another set, a framed set. Little Nikes that I bought for him. It's just all the little pipes and bits and pieces that were attached to him that we've kept, which is pretty cool. We got so many cool things in this box that we've kept, that people have given us, that helps us to remember him and celebrate him. So it's pretty cool to have this box to go through every now and then and to look through. An amazing book that all our friends wrote in. It's just packed with cool letters and encouraging words, so that's awesome and very special. I left the hospital that day knowing that my life will never be the same again. I made some decisions that I would risk more. I would care less about what people think and what people say. I will spend less time getting frustrated about little things, and I will just enjoy life more and do more things that I enjoy and want to do. And I have absolutely, over the last 3 years, done things or made decisions that were inspired and motivated by Benji's short life. Things like running a marathon, things like moving countries and starting a new business, things like getting tattoos, things like starting this vlog. I cared so much about what people think. I would never have done this. But I've decided, stuff it. Life's way too short. We have to take risks. We have to do things that we enjoy, and we have to care less about what people think and say about us. But 3 years on, I got to sit down and look at the decisions that I made 3 years ago and go, am I still being true to those? Because even such a dramatic life event, 3 years on, I find myself slipping back into what are people going to think? Am I being too risky here? And you got to kind of recalibrate and recommit yourself to those decisions that you made. That you know what? I am going to do things that I enjoy. I am going to take risks. Life is short. Yes, I'm going to love people and care for people, but I'm not going to care about what they think and say about me. I'm just going to be true to myself and be real with what I'm feeling and going through. So the other thing I've learned through Benji's life is that we are so quick to share the beautiful things, the encouraging things, the positive things in life. And we're not very good about being real and vulnerable about our hurts and our struggles. I was looking through my Facebook feed leading up to Benji's birth, and everything I posted was so positive and so encouraging and so hopeful. And then looking after he passed away, how little I posted, because I wasn't comfortable. I felt insecure about sharing my real, raw feelings, both with people and with God. But I've learned to be more vulnerable and more real about my feelings, to not try and put on a face or try and pretend that things are okay, but to be real and say, you know what, I am pissed off, I'm having a shit day and I'm angry, and just knowing that people are okay with that and God's okay with that. God's not scared of our anger and our disappointment and our fears. And actually what I've learned is, as I've been vulnerable with people, it's helped them to open up and to say, you know what, I'm going through similar stuff. So I think by being honest with your feelings and with where you're at, it really gives other people the permission to do the same, which is a beautiful thing. After Benji passed away, I was convinced that the grief, the hurt that I was feeling would be my life forever. I was convinced that it would never get any better and that I would have to live with that pain forever and ever. And if you are going through something incredibly tough, and if something really unfair or hurtful has happened to you, one thing I can say is that it doesn't even leave you, but I think you grow as a person. And so that hurt, that thing that is now all consuming, is the only thing that's in your life at the moment. As you grow as a person, that thing doesn't become any smaller, you become bigger around it. And so it becomes less hurtful. It becomes more part of your story and part of who you are, but it doesn't consume you. And so I hope I can encourage someone 3 years on from such a dramatic thing, that there is happiness, there is hope, there is all those things down the road for you. But make sure that you grieve properly and handle and deal with what you're going through properly. Get help, talk, don't be silent. If you know someone, if there's someone in your life going through something tough, the thing that was most helpful for us is if people didn't avoid the issue, if they actually spoke about it. We wanted to hear Benji's name. We wanted to tell his story. And so it was really helpful for us to talk to people about it. So my advice would be, don't avoid the issue. I know it's hard to know what to say, but allow the person that's hurting to talk about the thing that's going on, and allow them to process it and vent and grief. So sorry for being a bit of an emotional vlog today, but I just wanted to dedicate this one to Benji. I wanted to encourage some people, and hopefully I've done that and not made you cry too much. Love you guys heaps, and I will see you next week.